This is the key when shooting interiors with bright windows. Let the room breathe. Don't rush to pace either. I found that 3 to 6 seconds, have a game plan. Without a flow, you'll bounce between rooms and waste. All right, so I shot my first real estate listings, and not just one, but two in the same day. It was a full day grind, but I learned a ton, and I want to share exactly how I approached it. In this video, I'm breaking down the camera gear I used, settings, shot compositions, my shooting flow, and what I recommend if you're thinking about jumping into real estate photo and video work. So first, let's talk about the gear breakdown. I brought my Sony A7S III for photo and for one of the homes video. I brought my tripod for steady HDR bracketing shots, my Osmo Pocket 3 for the other video walkthrough, shot in normal 10-bit auto with the 15mm wide angle lens attachment. And for home 2, I used the RS3 gimbal paired with the Sony A7S III for that cinematic walkthrough feel. A bonus, I also used the Sony Creative Imaging app to control my photo captures hands-free, so there was no shakiness when I did do the bracket shots. Now, for photos, I used HDR bracketing, shooting 3 shots at 2 stops apart. That gave me 1 underexposed shot, 1 neutral, and 1 overexposed shot per frame. Then I'd merge those in Lightroom to retain both the window highlights and the indoor shadow detail. This is the key when shooting interiors with bright windows and dark corners. It saves you from having to mess with flashes or artificial lights. And by controlling everything from the app, I didn't risk moving the camera when triggering the shots. In terms of the video portion, I shot in 4K 60 frames, which gave me the flexibility to slow footage down in post and keep everything looking super smooth. Now, if you're asking which setup I'd recommend, it depends. If you want something fast, easy, and still high quality, go with the Osmo Pocket 3. Super convenient, great stabilization, and with the wide angle lens, it's perfect for those tight spaces. But if you're going for that cinematic high dynamic range look and don't mind putting in more time in post, definitely shoot with the S-Log on your Sony setup, but just be ready to color grade. Now let's talk composition. For photos and videos, I shot mostly at chest level using leading lines to guide the viewer's eyes. Think countertops, edges of walls, or door frames to align your shot with. Now, for certain things like bathrooms, couches, or anything lower to the ground, I recommend dropping the camera closer to hip level. It just frames those elements better without making the room look too distorted. Now, in terms of shots, I captured 2 angles for all the main rooms. Think living room, kitchen, and the master bedroom, and etc. Smaller spaces like the laundry room or closets, 1 shot usually gets the job done. With that being said, the key is to keep it clean and consistent. Remember to keep all the lights on, toilet seats down, hide any trash bins, laundry, or anything distracting in the shots. Don't make my mistake that I did on my first home where I had the toilet seat up on accident. But I learned and pivoted to the next home. Let's talk video strategy now. When shooting video, I try to match the photo composition with the same angles and the same framing. This keeps the final media package consistent throughout the whole thing. But one thing I truly do focus on is always move the camera forward and not backwards. It mimics a real walkthrough experience, while moving backwards just feels very unnatural. I also shoot everything with intentional motion. Whether I'm using the Pocket 3 or the RS3 gimbal, the goal is the same. Let the viewer feel like they're walking the space comfortably while still storytelling. And remember, don't overthink it. Let the room breathe. Don't rush to pace either. I found that 3 to 6 seconds is the perfect amount to showcase without the viewer getting bored. And as for the transitions, simple cuts and limiting the zoom ins and the speed ramps from distracting the viewers. A little goes a long way. So you're probably wondering, Jim, what's the flow approach when you go into this house? How do you attack each room? So the way I found to not miss anything was when I walk through the door, I start attacking the rooms on the left and right, and then I start working from the front of the house all the way to the back, and then finishing up on the backyard. Once all those shots are done, I took out my drone and I did a push in and a parallax shot of the front of the house, including some still photos, then moving on to the back of the house to also get a pull out shot and parallax of the back of the home, while also including a shot of the community and the amenities that are featured in that property. Then I did a final walkthrough of the house for the video portion. This time everything was already cleaned and staged, and I could just focus on the camera movement room by room, same sequence as the photo. So it made it super easy and efficient, and I didn't miss anything. So what are some takeaways here? If you're doing both photo and video, trust me, have a game plan. Without a flow, you'll bounce between rooms and waste time. Each home took me about an hour and a half, and that was with the drone, photos, and video, so budget your time accordingly. And if I had to do it again, I'd probably lean more on the Pocket 3 for quick shots, since it saves you so much time without sacrificing much quality, especially with that wide angle lens attachment. And another thing is make sure to double check that the toilet seats are down, lights are on, and that your shots are composed correctly. These are big key things you do not want to miss. So that was my first real estate shoot, 2 listings in one day. I learned a lot, made a few mistakes as I stated, but I picked up a rhythm that I can now use going forward. And if you're starting out, hopefully this gave you a solid starting point. So drop any questions in the comments if you have any, hit that like button, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe for more content. As always, guys, stay intentional. Peace.